So I was playing around with the idea of making some pixel tests in Procreate Dreams, and here's some of my findings. First of all, I think that pixel animation in Procreate is probably not ready yet, probably not built for it. That's just my opinion. So if you're listening to Procreate, you might want to have a turn off anti-alias and maybe scale to the nearest neighbor option. Maybe in the future you'll have that. But anyway, let's begin. So if you want to start off by creating a pixel animation, you want to go to Procreate. All right, you want to go to Procreate and you want to make yourself a brush. So I'm gonna click here, and you see I already have a pixel brush here. Now I did that by just hitting the plus sign, going into shape, and I imported in my own brush, which is a 1x1 pixel from Photoshop. And you go edit, and then you can import your own brush. Hit that import button, and it should work. You should have a new brush. I'm not gonna do that here because I already made one. So you see my pixel brush here, and what I want to do is I want to have side by side. Oops. So what I want to do here, I want to have side by side my Procreate and my Procreate Dreams in one. So I want to hold and drag it over here and let go. And it should say importing. And I'm going to get rid of Procreate. Just move that over. And if I have a new track here, I can start drawing. Find my brush, pixel. I have a few here, but I can just start drawing in pixels right now, which is pretty cool. So I will say this in the beginning, you're gonna find out that when you're moving this around, when you're moving these pixels around, you're gonna find out there's some anti-aliasing on every time you move. So I probably wouldn't suggest animating on the timeline here. Meaning if I hit, meaning if I were to draw this box with no anti-aliasing, I go here, make a move. So that's one. So I'm gonna make another keyframe here. And I'm gonna drag this over here, all the way over here. And I'm gonna move it so slightly. Oops. Over here, I'm gonna move it over here. And you kind of see how it's making this anti-aliasing happen here. If anyone knows how to turn it off, let me know. But what I've been doing is cutting up the tracks and animating this each time I make a split in this track. So I'm gonna delete this here. So if I wanted to move this, I would go in here and split this. First frame, I will make sure I have I can delete this frame here. First frame, I will make sure I have my move on. And if I wanted to move it, let's say 3 or 4 pixels off, maybe 1 pixel off, what I would do is duplicate this. And what's cool about this, in my first frame here, I go ahead and say 2. And let's do 1. So it should move 1. So 1. Do it again. And go ahead and duplicate my first frame here. I'm going to do 2. And there you go. It's moving. No anti-aliasing, is keeping my rectangle in place. And that's pretty much how I would animate. Or, if you're a pixel purist, you would use the flip book and you would draw each frame. That's fine too. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to delete these. Oops. Okay, so now it's deleted. What I want to show you here is how I animated one character using a mask. So here's my character here on this. I think my character is on this group. You can see my character here. So my character is just animated, moving up and down, using the same process that I told you before. I just copied him on each frame. So I moved him using the key. I just keyed in 1 frame at a time. So now I can control his leg movement by adding just a mask. And so let me show you what this mask is doing. So here's my character and here's my mask. So this mask here will control his foot. So I take it off. You can see his foot is actually in place. In the next frame, he just moves up. So I click this off and you see he's just moving up, right? Well, I'm kind of cheating here. I'm just turning this on and see his foot is moved up now. If I turn this back on, it's moved up, goes down, he moves up, and so on and so on. But I also have here, inside of this character, I have a layer where I can actually do shadows if I wanted to. And all I did here was duplicated the character, and I made a blending mode on it. So if I were to turn this on, you know what, let's turn on this one. If I turn this on, you'll see some shadows here. And in those shadows, it's actually a blend mode. I duplicated him, made it a blend mode, turned it on high, and I can start drawing if I wanted to on this shadow here. I can turn the shadows off. It's up to you. So when I just kind of move it, you can see the shadows moving. Each time I can go in here and control the shadows. But let's turn this off for now. All right, there you have it. That's how I animated a pixel character using Procreate Dreams. There's a lot of things I think they might update in the future, but for now, you could do it. Will I suggest it? I don't know, it's up to you. Anyway, give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys maybe next week. All right, thank you. Gone? Where'd he go?
Hey, you. Mommy went to sleep.
Did she? Okay. Oh, you turned him off again. You gotta erase him to get him back. Erase the clouds. Do you know how to erase the clouds?
No.
Erase the clouds like that. There you go.
Is that him?
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
That's him. You see?
I think I see. I think that's him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's him. I think it's him. I think it's him. I think it's him. I think it's not him. I think it's not him. I think it's not him. It's him! You know humans have bones and bones? Daddy, it's not working.
Okay. Let's make it work.